Howdy folks, Mr. Reed here, and welcome to One More Question. So what I'm going to be taking a look at right now is the idea of what in the world a negative exponent means when it's put on some. We're going to start out with just a very nice plain base, but we're going to hopefully develop a way to look at it no matter what the base is and be able to explain just what in the world it's trying to do. So if you want to see what negative exponents are, you're in the right place. Let's get to it. All right, now up above I just have what is the meaning of a to the minus 1. So in order to answer that question, I'm going to go down a little bit of a side path first. So what I'm going to show at the beginning is a relationship that's sometimes known as the reciprocal. So if you have something, and I'm just going to call that thing A for the time being. Actually, I'll call it B, just to switch it up from what I have written up above. And I multiply it by something. If in the end I get 1 as an answer, then that means that something, literally something in this case, is what we call the reciprocal. So a reciprocal relationship is when the two things that you're talking about multiply together to just give you a value of 1. So in the case of, for instance, a very plain, it's actually easier to see with a rational number that is not a whole number, say for instance like 3 over 2. So if I take the value of 3 over 2, what can I multiply that by to give me 1 in the end? Well, it just so happens that if you take the fraction and you flip it top over bottom. So instead of being a 3 in the numerator and a 2 in the denominator, it's a 2 in the numerator and a 3 in the denominator. If you're to do that, you get factors of 3 and 2 up top and factors of 3 and 2 down bottom. They cancel everything out, which just leaves you with a 1. So we can get this really nice relationship that for anything that can be written as a rational number, its reciprocal is actually just its flip. So a lot of times in math, we don't call it a flip. We call it specifically the reciprocal because that's what it is. So anything times its reciprocal gives you an answer of 1. So in order to actually show you what a to the minus 1 means, I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to write a to the positive 1 times a to the minus 1. Now, whatever a to the minus 1 means, what I would really like for it to be able to do is still follow our normal exponent laws. So those exponent laws say if I multiply together two bases that are the same, I should be able to add the exponents. Now, I haven't shown this with what would be integer exponents in this case, so positives and negatives going together. But if I assume that it's actually true, let's see what the fallout from that would be. So we have the same base a here, so I can add my exponents if this in fact is going to work out this way. So I would have 1 plus the minus 1, which is a to the power of 0. If you haven't seen it already, a few videos ago, I've shown what anything like a to the power of 0 is. We actually have shown that by wanting it to follow exponent laws, that is equal to a 1. Now, this is a really interesting turn of events because what that means is that the value of a to the 1 and a to the negative 1 are reciprocals of each other. That is pretty cool, actually. So in this particular case, the a to the 1 and a to the minus 1 must be reciprocals. But a to the 1 can be written as a fraction, a over 1. And this anything that can be written as a fraction, we know that its reciprocal is the flip. So we'd have 1 over a would also be equal to 1, just like it was the other way around. So what's that mean? Well, it actually means that this and this are the same thing, which is obvious, but it also means that this and this are the same thing, which we might not have actually known yet. So a to the minus 1 is actually the same expression as 1 over a. That's really cool, and it's going to be really helpful In the next video, I'm actually going to write some expressions with negative exponents, and we're going to show what would happen to them if we wanted to interpret them in a different way. But as far as actually showing what something to the -1 exponent is, we can define it right now as being the reciprocal. So anything to the power of -1 is the reciprocal of whatever the thing was without a -1 there. So if we have, for instance, a, then a to the -1 is the reciprocal of a. In a number sense, if we just wanted something really simple for an example, that means that 2, which can be written as 2 over 1 as a fraction, if you put that to the -1 exponent, it becomes 1 over 2 instead. So pretty nifty. We'll put it to some good use in the next video. Hopefully you found that one helpful. If you did, like, subscribe, and as always, take care, folks.